This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning, 18th day, 2018. Glad you're with us. It is cold out there right now, folks.
Is it 18 degrees? Because if it was, that would only make this open so much better.
Symmetry, that's right.
Yes, yes. It may not be 18, but it is chilly outside.
What do you have over there, John Scalzi?
Yeah, no, it's not 18, but it is cold. It certainly is in the upper 20s in some parts of the interior section and has been there. Explain this to me. Why is it that it can be below freezing on some parts of the Suncoast for 5 hours now, and a milkshake still sounds good to me?
You know, that's a good question, but we should all go right now and find out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Anyway, just going over the latest watches and warnings. The freeze warning, by the way, has been extended for all of Sarasota and Manatee counties now. You heard that at Bob's forecast at 5 o'clock yesterday evening. Plenty of warning about this one. It is cold out there. And then, you know what? It's going to be cold again tonight, but at least it's not going to be as cold as it is this morning. We have wind speeds that are still up there, making the feels-like temperature in most locations closer to the 20s, upper 20s for the most part. Most areas west of the interstate have not yet touched the freezing mark, though they may for a moment or two this morning. Certainly inland areas, looking at some of the agricultural thermometers across the region, they have touched that freezing mark. Across the state of Florida, oh my goodness, is it cold. We have had temperatures that have definitely been below freezing for a large chunk of the night in some parts of North Florida. And you look at the wind chill factors here in Sarasota, 26 is what it feels like out there. So definitely another cold night coming up. It'll be another first alert night, not necessary for freeze, but just for cold temperatures once again. We'll talk all about the forecast coming up in just a few. Back to you guys.
Okay, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic. An early build up there on 301 northbound as you get past State Road 70. Otherwise pretty clear at this hour in Manatee County. Checking the upper half of Sarasota County. Little thing there on 301 southbound around MLK. Also east of the interstate on Bee Ridge Road. Checking the final map to the south, we'll see that. And it's all clear at 5:02 on your Thursday morning.
Well, of course, our top story this hour, the Suncoast is feeling the effects of a chilly winter storm that is sweeping all across the country, and it's only going to get colder.
Our Rick Adams has a closer look.
This cold didn't stop people from going out and enjoying their Wednesday night. Layered clothing kept folks warm, and so did lit torches at a downtown Sarasota restaurant. Bobby Gornella's flight back home to Georgia was canceled, so he's on the Suncoast for another day. He tells us he's usually in short sleeves, but not today.
It's not like anything that you typically experience. It's really cold, but it's colder back home. It's about 18 degrees, my wife said, so it's actually a little bit warmer here.
Nasty weather up north forced cancellations and delays of at least a dozen flights at SRQ. The ticket counters at Delta and American Airlines were busy rebooking many passengers for flights on Thursday.
We saw the impacts on Atlanta at first, then it's moved on to Charlotte. We've had a couple cancellations in Charlotte, and then we had one to Boston.
Although it's not as cold as it is for our friends north of the Suncoast, the cold is still impacting a lot of folks here. Sarasota County fire officials tell us on days like this, they typically answer many more fire calls, mainly because of issues relating to space heaters and other items warming up the home.
We want to make sure people are aware that space heaters and so forth, you want to have a 3-foot area around them so that you don't have anything that can catch on fire. You also don't want to try and use your oven for a heater.
Reporting from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And for those who don't have a place to go during these frigid temperatures, the Salvation Army is opening its doors to provide meals and a place to sleep. The Salvation Army on 10th Street in Sarasota serves dinner every night around 5:30. They begin intakes around 6 o'clock and they continue taking people in until around 9 o'clock at night. Now they provide blankets, linen, and even clothes for those who stay. Breakfast is provided in the morning, and they do open up their porch afterwards so people don't have to leave right away. Chris Johnson, the Director of Program Services for the Salvation Army Sarasota, says everyone who stays is grateful for all the services they do provide.
They're very grateful when they have the opportunity to come in. The beauty for us is that individuals who wouldn't normally come in will come in on a colder night, and it gives us the opportunity to connect with them and give them the opportunity to find housing.
And of course, they are going to be staying open until the cold temperatures and the wind chills do die down.
Also open right now, the Salvation Army, as you just saw, also Grace United Methodist Church in Venice, and New Hope Community Church on South Biscayne Drive in Northport, and also in Manatee County, the Salvation Army shelter is open there on 14th Street West near downtown Bradenton.
Well, the cold is officially here, and schools across the Suncoast are trying to brace the parents and students for some chilly temperatures as they head out the door this morning and to the bus stops.
Students are going to feel temperatures in the high 30s and low 40s Thursday morning. I think John said it's worse than that, actually. 34 degrees right now, feels like in the 20s. Let's go live to Marla Spence, who's at the bus depot in Nokomis. Good morning, Marla.
Good morning, Stephanie and Ray. That is right. You know, oftentimes when we think about near freezing temperatures, we think about our pets and also our plants. But how about those kids hopping on those school buses right behind us and heading into school? Now, parents are being told to layer up their kids with clothing items like this scarf and also some gloves. Now, we spoke to Mike Barber with the Manatee County School District, and this is what he had to say.
Large proportion of our students do walk and ride to school. We have approximately 16,000 students that ride the bus to school every day. So, you know, that's a large percentage that are going to be out at bus stops and everything. And our high schools start at around 7:15 or 7:30 in the morning. So, you know, they're out awful early and it's going to be awful cold. So we want to make sure that they're aware and they're prepared.
Like I said, you want to make sure your kids are prepared before they head out the door this morning and head into those schools. Now, we are being also told that parents should also allow their kids to have some water with them, because with those layers, that means they could warm up in the classroom. So they need to take those layers off, and staying hydrated is the #1 thing in this cold weather. So sending your kids off with some water or even some Gatorade would be a great idea. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks, Marla. Some good tips. Now, this is probably a great day, if you haven't done so already, to download our app, the ABC7 you can search for, or WWSB, or My Suncoast. You're going to get the latest on this story, breaking news, plus all the up-to-the-minute first alert forecast that you need right there.
Well, this may or may not be weather-related, but look at this picture. A Siesta Key resident found something rare swimming underneath his dock. Joe Volpe found a 12-foot python in the water and scooped up the snake using his pool net. Florida Fish and Wildlife believes it was either released or escaped from its owner, and since the python is a conditional species, it is required for owners to report it missing right away. But FWC says it does not have any reports in the area, so the incident is therefore under investigation.
And farmers at the Manatee County Fair are preparing their livestock for the cold weather. Dairy farmers made sure that the cattle had extra hay and water overnight as the temperatures dropped. Now, they say that's because the animals do tend to eat more when it's cold. I relate to that. As for the animals at the petting zoo, the cold front will make some of the animals feel right at home.
We're from southeast Missouri, and right now it's 5 degrees and a foot of snow on the ground at home. My wife called yesterday, and but these animals come down last week. They're used to the cool weather, the cold weather, and you know, 30 degrees is pretty comfortable for them.
And fair staff do expect the attendance to drop a little bit with the temperatures, but they are confident that those numbers will pick right back up with the beautiful weekend that we've got ahead.
The cold weather has temporarily shut down the water fun in downtown Venice. The city says the Children's Fountain in Centennial Park is closed due to the windy and cold conditions. The fountain will reopen when the weather improves.
In consumer news now, American Airlines is moving away from cash at its kiosks. Starting today at airports like Miami International, the airline is no longer accepting cash. And it's even setting up ready stations at the airports that will convert your cash to a Visa card, but not without charging you a $5 fee. Now, this is going to apply to all desk transactions, including check bags or overweight bag fees. The airline says the new system will help speed up the check-in process and help getting passengers to their planes a little faster.
Well, first Amazon and now Apple looking to build a new place in the U.S. They plan to add 20,000 jobs and $38 billion in taxes that was previously going overseas. New federal tax rules mean companies like Apple can no longer avoid paying taxes by holding the cash outside the U.S. They must pay tax whether they bring the money in or not. So Apple plans to decide where they'll build their new place later on this year.
And OSHA and 24/7 Wall Street have released their annual list of the most dangerous jobs in the country. Now, the list is compiled based on the number of on-the-job fatal injuries last year. The jobs that make this list are at least 25 times more dangerous than a typical job. Based on the fatality rate, they found that being a logger is the most dangerous job in the country right now. It's 38 times more dangerous than a regular job. Rounding out the top 5, commercial fishermen, aircraft pilots, roofers, and garbage and recyclable collectors.
I don't see morning news anchor there, do you?
I don't.
No.
I don't either.
This one's for burger lovers. Another popular chain coming to the Suncoast. Shake Shack plans to open a restaurant east of the mall on University. It would be near California Pizza Kitchen. This will be the first location on Florida's west coast for Shake Shack. And boy, milkshake still does sound good. You're right, John.
I was like, you know what,
Isn't that weird? Isn't that a
does.
weird thing?
Why does it sound
I
like
have
a
no idea.
milkshake and some like chili?
I don't know. No explanation for that
No.
whatsoever, but it is a true thing. Wind chills are what are so biting out there right
Yeah, it's
now, and
cold.
of course the air temperature in inland areas has hit the freezing mark, and we may see that along the coastline, or at least inland a little bit from the coastline over the course of the next couple hours. We still have a couple hours of cooling left. We'll talk about the forecast in a second.
Also, first alert traffic and a look at the Misty Creek Country Club in East Sarasota in the latest edition of Dream 18.
And coming up a little later in the hour, if you think it's chilly here, wait until you hear about the coldest place on Earth. It's going to make you feel so much warmer. Stick around, we've got that story coming up.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a full-time receptionist/accounts payable administrator. AP or general accounting experience preferred. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply. Now, your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Taking a look at the temperature, it is certainly cold out there, but it doesn't tell the whole story. 34 degrees the air temperature at the airport, but you factor in the wind chill, winds north-northeast now at about 10, and it feels like 26 degrees. So really chilly, bundle up, layers, you know the story, and just stay warm as we get through the morning hours. You know, we're not going to get a whole lot warmer this afternoon, and that is why I will call for a first alert weather day again today. We'll warm to about 55 degrees or so, which is about 20 degrees below our average for this time of year. So it's going to be a very chilly day, and the winds will still be up through the first half of the day, though the wind chill advisory will be coming down at around 10 o'clock. It'll still feel pretty raw out there throughout the day today. And tonight's going to be a cold night, but not as cold. Currently 31 degrees, freezing in Parrish, freezing Mayaca City, almost freezing in Arcadia, though some of the agricultural sites around Arcadia have absolutely shown freezing temperatures. Wauchula freezing, Northport at 33, but there are still anywhere east of the interstate, excuse me, pockets of freezing temperatures being reported on independent weather stations. 36 degrees in Inglewood, Venice, Sarasota 34, 37 degrees, Longboat Key, 32 degrees freezing in Bradenton right now at that reporting station. So as we progress through the morning, our temperatures rise up, but still pretty cool. That should be eliminated. There is no freeze watch up for tonight. I'm sorry, I'll need to remove that. 53 by about 3 p.m. this afternoon. Sunny skies, plenty of sunshine around, but just not much relief from the cold weather today anyway. High pressure, the dominant weather feature, winds breezy and out of the northwest. But the thing is, and here's the trick to the forecast over the course of the next several days, that high pressure ridge will tend to scoot a little further to the east, and as it does that, our winds start to lighten up. Once our winds start to lighten up and even in fact start changing to the east with time, then we start to see a little bit of a reduction in the cold factor across the Suncoast and a little bit more warm air filter in by the weekend. First alert weather day today, because of the cold air, because of the uncomfortable afternoon temperatures in the mid-50s. Cold day, but at least it's sunny and dry. If you can stay out of the wind, the sunshine will help somewhat. Tonight, cold, but no freeze. So that's the good news. The freeze will be in some parts of Florida tonight, but not our area, doesn't look like at this time. Futurecast taking it through the morning hours at 7 a.m. Of course, rain-free, but still really cold. By 12 p.m., the same thing. We're heating up, but still dry. By tomorrow morning, I think we'll probably see temperatures that are a little bit more comfortable, even though it's cold, because those winds will have died down. So that's the good news. And then as we head into Friday, you'll start to notice a little bit of the wind shift, bringing a few more clouds across the peninsula of the state. That an indication that some warming will take place. So the forecast looks like this for beach and boating. Winds will start to subside perhaps a bit this afternoon, coming in at about 10 to 15, but a small craft advisory is still up throughout the day, and that includes till about 6 p.m. tonight. So we look for a cold day today, 55 the high. On Friday, a cooler day, but still kind of on the chilly side with 63 our high. Neither of the two nights, tonight or tomorrow night, feature a freeze, but still cold enough tonight that if you have covered your plants, you might just consider leaving that in place one more night in case things change, and just to err on the side of caution. And then as we head over the next several days, we start to warm. A front comes through on Monday, but it really doesn't knock our temperatures down all that much. It just leaves some unsettled weather. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look at your first alert traffic this morning. Not too much to see out there. We're starting to get a little bit of congestion in Manatee County, a little bit on 301 as well. So heading into North Sarasota County, that one's looking pretty good. A tiny bit of a slowdown on 41, but other than that, it's not looking too bad. And then in South Sarasota County, nothing of note right there. It is 5:18, and that is your first alert traffic. Now, in the latest edition of Dream 18, we're heading out to visit Misty Creek Country Club in East Sarasota.
Yeah, Bee Ridge Road. Our Scott Dennis braved the chilly weather.
Welcome to beautiful Misty Creek Country Club on a very chilly morning as we tape this for the Dream 18. Head pro Bruce Harris. Bruce, thanks for having us out here today.
My pleasure.
We're going to play, thanks a lot for this, the toughest hole on the course.
Yes, this is par 4, of course. If you're looking down over my shoulder, we're going to be teeing off and hitting over the water to an elevated fairway down there. So we're trying to fit our tee shot in between the bunker and the woods and hit it as far as we possibly can.
But otherwise, it should be kind of easy.
Yeah, for you it'll be easy. For me it'll be more of a challenge.
Yeah, right. All right, let's try it. Let's try it up.
probably about 180 yards total to the flag. Okay, very good.
Boy, it looks good, Bruce. Be right. A little too much? Yep. Way too
Just
much.
a little bit, but right over
Wow.
it.
Turn.
Settle.
Turn. Go in.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. I
You
scared
backed
didn't
me
I?
off. Oh, good effort. Yeah. Okay.
Well, Bruce, thanks so much for having us out here today. Nice
welcome.
par. I
Thank
had
you.
a 6, not the best, but I got to experience why this is the toughest hole out.
You did. You
Yeah.
did. And it can get you. And it did. So, like I said, it's built along the preserve, and there's a lot of hazards and a lot of challenge here.
But it's a
on the
beautiful
number one
course,
handicap hole. Yes.
and we appreciate you having us out here.
Yeah,
today.
my pleasure.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thanks again, Bruce.
Okay.
And we'll see you next time on the Dream 18.
All right, looks a little bit warmer out there than it does this morning.
Yeah.
All right, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. Over 1 million of Apple's highly anticipated smart speakers have now been shipped to stores. We're going to tell you when they are expected to be available.
And next half hour, the clock is ticking toward tomorrow night's deadline. We'll tell you about different approaches on Capitol Hill and whether or not to let the government shut down.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Well, we were warned it was coming, and it's here. It's 34 degrees out there. It feels like 26, so bundle up as you go outside this morning.
Layers, as our Marla reminded everyone as well. This is a good hat and gloves day. It's chilly out there today.
Talked to my brother in Buffalo last night. He said, how cold is it? I said, well, it's 55 right now. He said, that's nothing. To them, 34 is a nice spring day.
Right, that's a nice style out. Same thing for our friends up north as well. And there you go, those are all our social networks up there. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter. You can also follow us on Instagram now, where they take you behind the scenes right here at the station and show you how we also dress in layers around here as well. All right, well, Apple is getting close to making its highly anticipated smart speaker available.
ABC's Candace Gibson and Diane Macedo have details in this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, the first batch of Apple HomePods.
A new report says the supplier of the smart speaker has shipped 1 million units to Apple, hinting they could be available soon.
And Nintendo is coming out with some do-it-yourself cardboard accessories.
They're designed to work with Nintendo Switch by turning its controllers into a piano or a fishing rod, or other game parts. And people are now getting tattoos that can speak to them.
Yeah, you upload any sound clip to an app called Skin Motion. An artist then takes the sound wave from the app and makes a tattoo. If you can scan the tattoo with the app, the audio clip is played for one man who was a chance to keep a voicemail from his grandmother who recently passed.
Hey, Brian, this is Grandma. See you later, babe.
The designs can be made up from any recorded sounds. Pretty cool.
Yeah, those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Blue Buffalo.
We were at a breeder looking for a puppy to join our family, and they were breeding large breed Airedales. All of a sudden, Billy comes in and tells us that he's found this dog outside.
We were playing together, and you just knew that he was the one for us.
And who could have imagined that he would inspire us to start Blue Buffalo? So when he got sick, it was truly devastating. We took a look at the food he'd been eating, and we felt we could do better. So we created a food with the highest quality natural ingredients, and we named it Blue, in honor of our boy, Blue.
Okay, I never thought I'd say this, but I found bladder leak underwear that's actually pretty. Surprised? It's called Always Discreet Boutique. It looks and fits like my underwear. I know what you're thinking. How can something this pretty protect? Hidden inside is a super absorbent core that quickly turns liquid to gel for incredible protection. So I feel protected and pretty. New Always Discreet Boutique.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, it is a shutdown showdown. We'll have the latest on the back and forth that will continue this morning on Capitol Hill.
Plus a live report on the cold weather that's hitting the Suncoast this morning and our first alert forecast.
And a controversial book about the president's first year in office could be coming soon to a small screen near you. Those stories and more coming up right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning to you. It is 5:31 on this chilly Wednesday morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. It's 34 degrees out there. It feels like 26 degrees. And I got to tell you, John Scalzi had talked about this and he warned us all week long.
That is right. It is a chilly start to the morning out there. If you had kids and they're heading out to the bus stops, layer up, bundle up as well.
Boy, is that true. That is so true. I'm just getting some reports in from some of our weather watchers. Oh my goodness. Mark in Palmetto's got 30 degrees there. Cooper in central Sarasota has touched the freezing mark at this hour. And Becky, poor Becky, in old Myakka, who just does not like the cold weather, is always one of the coldest spots, reporting in with temperatures in the mid-20s.
Oh, Becky.
Yeah, that's hard. In fact, many places inland east of the interstate, well inland east of the interstate, Hardy and DeSoto particularly, have seen some temperatures dipping into the 20s. Our maps right now showing freezing temperatures basically east of the interstate, and looking at some of the agricultural thermometers across the region, I can tell you they've been below freezing for about 4 or 5 hours or more. It started about early in the morning hours. The closer to the coastline so far, not a lot of temperatures have hit the freezing mark right along the immediate coast, 31 in Bradenton. But it's the wind chill, 34 in Sarasota, but you factor in the wind chill, 26 is the feels like. Allow yourself a little extra commute time today because you want to get that heater revving, no doubt about it. We are looking at basically through the morning commute hours temperatures in the mid-30s most everywhere, and the wind chill factor making it feel like the 20s. So clearly you're going to want to bundle up in layers and watch those kids at the bus stop as we just heard. Back to you guys.
All right, good advice. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now in Manatee County. A little blip there on the screen, northbound 301 as you head toward downtown Bradenton right now. Otherwise pretty clear. Checking the northern half of Sarasota County. Nothing much to report. Little thing east of Clark on east of 75. Otherwise pretty clear. And South County all good at 5:32 on your Thursday morning.
And topping our news this half hour, we could possibly see a government shutdown this weekend.
Well, some say kick the can down the road again or shut the government down. ABC's Megan Hughes has the latest from Washington.
With a potential government shutdown imminent, President Trump on Capitol Hill had little to say about an immigration deal. But elsewhere at the Capitol, tears and protests from some of the nearly 800,000 undocumented immigrants brought here as children, known as Dreamers. And the Republican leader Mitch McConnell pointed the finger directly at the president for why there was no deal.
I'm looking for something that President Trump supports. As soon as we figure out what he is for, then I would be convinced that we were not just spinning our wheels.
The president rejecting a bipartisan Senate proposal, calling it horrible and very, very weak. But a little over a week ago, Trump brought in cameras to witness him negotiating with Republicans and Democrats.
What about a clean DACA bill now, with a commitment that we go into a comprehensive immigration reform procedure?
I have no problem. I think that's basically what Dick is saying. We're going to come out with DACA.
Republicans talked him out of that. One sticking point, the border wall. Kelly telling Fox News that President Trump's campaign promises were not fully formed.
There's been an evolutionary process that this president has gone through as a campaign, and I pointed out to all of the members that were in the room that they all say things during the course of campaigns that may or may not be fully informed.
The deal on the table now would be a one-month funding measure that does not address immigration. If it does not pass, the government shutdown begins at midnight Friday. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
In other immigration news, the Department of Homeland Security is blocking Haitians from temporary visas. Haiti is the latest removed from the Temporary Protected Status Program. Nearly 60,000 Haitians face deportation if they don't leave by July of 2019. Belize is also being removed from the list of eligible countries whose immigrants can receive U.S. visas.
Well, and this one didn't take long. The Hollywood Reporter says Michael Wolff's best-selling book, Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House, will be adapted into a TV series. The company Endeavor Content bought the film and TV rights in a multi-million-dollar deal. Now the search is on for a network to officially sign on to the project. Fire and Fury has been controversial since its release, painting a chaotic and unflattering picture of President Trump's first year in office. Now, for the latest on this story, plus your breaking news and the very, very important First Alert forecast, especially today, head over to our app store. You can find our app under WWSB or My Suncoast.
An update now from New York, where that man charged in the deadly Halloween terror attack could agree to plead guilty if the certain conditions are met. Attorneys for Saifullah Saipov suggest if prosecutors agree not to push for the death penalty, their client may enter a guilty plea. He is facing 22 charges, including several murder and attempted murder counts. The 29-year-old is accused of driving a rented pickup truck down a busy bike path near the World Trade Center last October. 8 people were killed and a dozen others were injured.
And according to officials in Nevada, the body of Las Vegas shooter Stephen Paddock has been cremated. His next of kin will receive the remains, but no further details on that arrangement were disclosed. Now, Paddock, of course, killed 58 people at the Route 91 Harvest Festival in Las Vegas back on October 1st before killing himself. Nearly 500 people were injured in that attack. It was the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history.
It is 5:36 right now, and snow and icy conditions have made roads very hard to pass in the south and in the east.
That is right. A winter storm dumped snow yesterday all the way from the Florida Panhandle all the way up to Maine as it left bone-chilling coldness and icy conditions. CNN's Andy Rose has the latest on when it's expected to thaw out.
Last night, EMS and NOPD responded to over 600 calls for service.
Ice and snow-covered roads blanketed the southeast Wednesday, causing cars to slide off roads and creating massive pileups.
I was coming out here about 10 miles an hour. When I got right there to get over in that lane to make a left turn, it must have hit a patch of ice and the back end spent around.
But you're okay?
Yes, sir.
In Louisiana, 3 people were killed in traffic accidents, and authorities are begging people to stay off the roads even when the accumulation stops.
Some bridges, however, still have substantial amounts of ice and water in many places that can potentially cause dangerous icing again tonight as temperatures drop below freezing.
Ice was such a problem in Houston, drivers on Interstate 69 had to turn around and drive in the opposite direction just to exit. And in Metro Atlanta, 260 crashes were reported Wednesday morning when drivers attempted to brave the snow-covered roads. Bitterly cold wind chills are expected to hang around through Thursday, which means there won't be much relief before then.
The state of emergency that was declared yesterday remains in effect until further notice. You have to go out, drive much slower, keep a lot of space between vehicles.
In Atlanta, I'm Andy Rose reporting.
Well, the cold is here, and schools all across the Suncoast are trying to brace parents and students for chilly temperatures as they head out the door this morning.
It'll feel like the 20s today at the bus stops around the Suncoast. Let's go live to the bus depot in Sarasota County down in Osprey. Here's Marla Spence. Marla, good morning.
Good morning, Stephanie and Ray. You know, this morning, these school buses behind me will be pulling off to pick up several kids at near freezing bus stops. Now, in Manatee County alone, we're told about 16,000 kids are expected to walk or take the bus to school this morning. And because of these frigid temperatures, school officials are urging you parents watching out there to make sure your kids are dressed nice and warm before they head out to school. Now, we spoke to Mike Barber with Manatee County School District, and he says layering up is the ideal way to dress your kids this morning.
The funny thing about Florida is you know, it can be extremely cold in the morning and then it can get relatively warm. So you kind of have to be prepared for that.
One tip, don't dress your kids in too many layers. Now, they'll be spending most of their time inside, although it is really cold outside. So that means they'll get a little bit warmer in that classroom. So layering up is the ideal way to dress your kids this morning. That means if they warm up in that classroom, it'll be easy for them to take off those top layers and they won't get too warm in that classroom. Back to you, Stephanie and Ray.
All right, thanks, Marla. Some good tips. All right, you think it's cold here? Well, even thermometers can't keep up with the freezing temperatures in Russia's remote Yakutia region. It's about 7 hours away from Moscow, where even your eyelashes freeze. It hit minus 67 degrees in some of the areas this week. Minus 67.
Wow.
Not surprising. It is known as the coldest inhabited region on Earth. It's so cold that the bathrooms are almost all outhouses, since pipes would freeze too easily. Residents often, like when they go to work, they have to leave their cars running all day so they don't freeze. And then they live off a diet of primarily meat due to the fact that produce can't survive all the freezing temps, but they burn a lot of calories constantly blinking their eyelashes.
I see that.
It's a cardio workout in that area. My
Yes.
goodness, that is cold.
Happening around the state, state troopers will now be equipped with the overdose antidote Narcan to save lives in the fight against the opioid epidemic. The life-saving drug can take just seconds to revive an overdose victim. This week, FHP troopers on the East Coast were the first to be issuing Narcan. The drug will be given to troopers in other parts of the state by the end of the month. Some of the highest overdose numbers in Florida are here in the Manatee and Sarasota County area. In Tallahassee, a bill that would ban the governor and his cabinet from accepting political contributions while the legislature is in session. The bill put the same fundraising restrictions on these statewide elected officials that are already applied to lawmakers. If they break the law, they could be charged with a felony. Governor Scott raised about $1 million during the session last year. He may run for Senate. And Agriculture Secretary Adam Putnam, who is running for governor, raised nearly $2 million last year.
And the House 72 district debate is now official. After weeks of declining to do so, Republican candidate James Buchanan has agreed to debate Democrat Margaret Good and Libertarian Allison Foxall right here on ABC 7. It's going to be the first time all three candidates will appear together and answer some tough questions. A Herald Tribune Politico reporter says Buchanan may have committed to the debate because the race might be a little closer than originally thought.
I've talked to prominent Republicans who have told me off the record that they thought that making a statement early on in the campaign that they weren't going to do any debates at all was a bit of a misstep, and that maybe they've been getting enough pressure not only from their opponents but from some of their supporters that they needed to get out there in the public a little bit.
And that debate is scheduled for Tuesday, January 30th, right here on ABC 7 at 7 o'clock.
And no debate about the weather. It is cold out there, John.
No doubt about it.
No
Wind chill. Well, there's a lot of
It's
cons.
warm.
We have some wind chill advisories that are really chilly. We'll talk about it in a second.
All right, sounds good. Right after that, we're going to have the forecast as well as the first alert traffic. And
more than 300 children are treated in emergency rooms for a problem growing every day.
we're going to have some tips that parents need to know to avoid accidental poisonings. That's up next for you in Health Smart.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new animal adventure. It's a job that most would not want, extracting venom from some of the most deadly snakes in the world. We'll learn how and why these folks are doing it. And if this guy was invited to a nice party, he's already wearing a tux. We're getting to know all about this dapper fella. Join us this week on ABC 7.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Looking at temperatures across the region that are cold today, coming in at about 34 degrees. Dew point value is 20, and theoretically, that is how low the temperatures could go. Northeast wind at about 10 makes that 34-degree air temperature feel more like about 26 degrees. So a very, very cold start to the morning. Looking at thermometers and reporting stations across the region, generally speaking, areas west of the interstate have not seen freeze conditions or have seen freezing temperatures for a brief period of time. Bradenton coming in at 31 degrees, Longboat Key coming in at 37, Sarasota coming in at 34, Venice at 35, Inglewood at 35. You jump the interstate, though, and we have many instances of temperatures that are being reported at or below the freezing mark. In fact, if you go well inland, the Ona reporting station, around the Arcadia area, we've had temperatures in the 20s as far to the west as Myakka for a period since about 3 o'clock this morning. So some chilly temperatures, and there's another couple of hours left of cool temperatures, so cold temperatures. So expect, maybe 5 hours of freezing or below temperatures to the east of the interstate. We're looking at 31 degrees in Wauchula, and Parrish it's 31, Myakka 32, Arcadia it's freezing, so it is in Northport. Richard in Northport gave us his observation from his weather station at 30 degrees. So certainly these are representative temperatures from the region, but there are pockets of colder temperatures around. Much colder today than average. Probably our daytime highs topping out in the mid-50s. That's about 20 degrees below where we normally would find ourselves on a typical day. So, obviously, it's a first alert weather day because of that. It'll be cold again tonight, but not as cold as this morning. I don't think we'll see a freeze tonight, but certainly temperatures will be back down into the 30s. So, again, well below average by some 30 degrees. We're looking at about 34 degrees by 7, 47 degrees by 12, 53 by 3 p.m. Here's what I think are some of the forecast low temperatures for tonight that I think are pretty representative. Northport will come in at about 34, Port Charlotte 37, 36 in Inglewood, Venice at 36, Myakka at 33, Osprey at 36, Lakewood Ranch, you'll get down to about 34, 34 in Bradenton. There is a small craft advisory up for those winds that are producing those wicked wind chills around. I don't think boating is going to be pretty popular anyway, but still, remember a small craft advisory up. Afternoon winds coming in about 10 to 15. Choppy conditions on bay and inland waters. For today, we'll top it out cold at about 55 degrees. Now, winds in the second half of the day will start to die down a little bit, so the wind chill will not be as big a problem by about 10, 11 o'clock, and certainly by afternoon. Tonight, it will be cold, but not as cold. We'll call it 36 at the airport. Friday will start to warm. We'll call it cool. Some people will find this cold, but 63 degrees. Overnight low in the 40s, so we do start to warm. Winds will shift on Friday, and that'll get us back up to close to 70 degrees by Saturday. We'll carry that on through about Monday when a front will scoot through and lower our temperatures a few degrees, but not much. And it will bring a slight chance at some showers early on next work week. Back to you guys.
All right, taking a look at your first alert traffic out there this morning. It's starting to pick up a little bit, but you don't have too much on the roads. A little bit of congestion right there on State Road 70. If you're heading into North Sarasota, again, not too much to see on the roads. You've got your typical congestion around University Parkway, but other than that, the roads are running pretty good. There is one accident up there that looks like on State Road 72. We'll give you more details on that as we get them. And then in South Sarasota, again, the roads are looking pretty good with just one little traffic hitch. That's at 5:50 on this Wednesday morning. In this hour's Health Smart, every day in this country, more than 300 children are treated in emergency rooms because of accidental poisonings.
Here's today's Health Minute from Kim Hutcherson.
Every year, nearly 60,000 American children are accidentally poisoned by medicine. The group Safe Kids Worldwide surveyed caregivers about storing medications in the home. They found that for many parents, knowledge doesn't translate into behavior.
9 out of 10 parents agree that medicine should be kept up and away, out of sight for kids. However, 7 out of 10 parents report keeping medicine on a counter or on a ledge where kids can easily access them.
The reason most often cited, having too much to do and too little time.
Parents are busy, and sometimes convenience overrules caution. And when you look at emergency department visits for accidental medicine poisonings, many of the parents report that they only looked away for less than a minute.
Experts say eye-catching colors can appeal to children.
Those medications can look like candy or something very appetizing to a child, and they can get into that and get into trouble.
Experts recommend caregivers follow a simple rule every time.
We want parents to make sure that they store medications, all medications, over-the-counter medications, prescription drugs, vitamins, and supplements, up high and out of sight and reach after every single use.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
All right, good advice there. 34 degrees at 5:51. Your day's top local news headlines next. And a father in Kentucky is being called a super dad.
We're going to tell you how he helped deliver his daughter and where it all happened when we come back.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
The top story is the weather right now. Temperature is in the 30s, but it feels like the 20s right now across the Suncoast.
All right, also a 12-foot python discovered in Siesta Key. A homeowner discovered the reptile swimming underneath his dock, scooped it up with a pool net. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission believes it was either released or escaped from its owner.
And Apple plans to bring thousands of jobs and billions of dollars back to the U.S. The decisions in the wake of the federal tax code overhaul.
Finally, this hour, Kentucky dad had to help deliver his own daughter on the way to the hospital. Now, the baby wasn't supposed to arrive for another 2 weeks, but mom and dad piled into the minivan, headed to the hospital. When mom began feeling those all-important contractions a little closer together, just a few minutes into their drive, dad had to pull the car over, called 911, and delivered baby Stella on his own right there on the side of the road. They're all doing well, and some quick thinking and experience that dad will never forget.
Wow.
Yep.
That's our hour. We'll have more of John's forecast after this. Stay with us.